And it starts with the Emerald Awards a few years ago in Edmonton. And my friend Chris and I, we were there. We got into our vehicle from Calgary and drove out to this event because the Calgary Folk Music Festival was up for an Emerald Award, and they asked us to go and represent them there. And so we ended the nights by celebrating an Emerald Award on behalf of the Calgary Folk Fest. And we were there because we were the environment managers and we were volunteers with the festival. And somebody said to me at those awards, you know, this is a really good thing you guys are doing. You should package this up and take this to the Stampede in Calgary and Heritage Days in Edmonton and expand. And I was like, whoa, I do this as a volunteer. What you're talking about is a full-time job. And so there I was, you know, in the oil industry thinking, man, that would be a really fun full-time job. And so that's what I did. And so what we started to do, Chris and I, was we looked around, and what we saw was that there are a lot of really fun events that at the end of that event, it was just a big mess, and they really needed us there. And especially because so much of this goes to the landfill. The thing about the landfill that's really important to know is that landfills in Canada produce 10% of the country's greenhouse gases. So if you're passionate about climate change, this is an issue to tackle. This is a big one. Composting is an incredible way and a very simple way to address a really large global issue. And so we started off by building the team, and that team was what we were taking to events and helping people to create zero waste events. The idea was that anytime somebody was to go and dispose of something in the trash, there was somebody there talking to them and being able to say to them, well, that goes in the recycling, that goes into compost. That you might want to talk to the organizers or rethink where you're buying that next time, because that's only going to the landfill. And then we'd keep the site really clean, take it all to the recycling depot or the compost facility, and do a lot of public education through this process. We got a chance to work with the Premier's office really closely on an event this year where we were able to supply compostable cups, compostable cutlery, and make sure that, and compostable plates, and make sure that everything was either composted or recycled at this event, which is really great because at the end of the event, we only had a single bag of garbage for 6,000 people that came to this. And so this is what we're talking about when we're talking about zero waste events. But you know, when you spend enough time looking at people's garbage, you start to really identify some interesting challenges. And the question that we came up with was, how do we make it so that we're not just diverting waste away from the landfill, but we're actually reducing or eliminating the waste in the first place? And on this next picture here, I'd like you to take a look at this and ask yourself, what am I looking at here? Any guesses what this is? I'll give you a clue, and it's on this next slide here. These are 5 million water bottles. 5 million water bottles represents the amount of water bottles consumed every 5 minutes. Think about that for a moment. That is a heck of a lot of waste. And so we really took on this challenge of how do we eliminate that water bottle from even winding up in the waste that we're collecting and sending to the recycling facility. And so at DIG, we made a major investment into mobile water stations. And these mobile water stations provide free water, free, clean, accessible water to people at these events, and we can have a whole fleet of them so we can have people staying hydrated even if they're really big crowds. And this opened up a new channel of collaboration that wasn't available to us before. And what we did was we partnered with the Royal Bank, the the City of Calgary, and an organization called COST, or the Center for Affordable Water and Sanitation Technology. The idea is that the City of Calgary and Royal Bank subsidizes the cost of this equipment for a number of event organizers. And the city and COST provide water education that happens at these events so that people learn about some of these issues. And 1% of all of our profits go to COST, who then implements water and sanitation projects in developing countries so that everybody can have clean drinking water. Another interesting one is this one with a group called Leftovers. And so at the end of all the events that we're working at, this group comes and helps us collect all the leftover food, and it gets delivered to homeless shelters and a number of other really wonderful social service agencies. One other collaboration that's really new to us is a partnership with an organization called Portable Electric. So they manufacture these mobile portable batteries, and these batteries can be recharged with solar panels as well as pedal power. And the great thing about this is that we can replace diesel generators that power so many of the events around Alberta and eliminate those emissions entirely. It also opens up a number of really fun interactive things. Like, for example, at the Calgary Stampede, we have a bike valet program. So you ride your bike to the event, and then somebody checks your bike in and out like a coat check, and it gives us an opportunity to have all kinds of fun interactive things at the event, like, for example, where we pedal power bubble machines and mobile phone chargers to get more people interested in being part of this biking phenomenon at the event. All this really helps us to tell our story to people, because what we're able to do is, through our communication and our reports, we're able to quantify exactly what our impacts are, and we're able to say that 50 tons of our waste is being diverted from the landfill. The next slide here actually has some, this is from our most recent report, but we have to update this information because now about 500,000 water bottles were not used because we provided free water at the events that we work at. So this is a way to help to create a new finish line, to create a new paradigm for and help people remove some of those blinders